Are you in the market for an ice cube tray that can hold up to 72 ice cubes? What? 72? You heard that right. And I'm not talking about those little tiny ice cubes. I'm talking about real ice cubes. Today we're going to be looking at a product called the Ice Genie. Well, technically it's called the new and improved Ice Genie. And look, holds up to 72 ice cubes. Now, this is an upgraded product from one that they released a few years ago called the Ice Genie. And I didn't actually review that. That product was released before I even started doing reviews. But a friend of mine named Tony from Tony's Reviews, he reviewed the original Ice Genie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link his review down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. My channel is dedicated to reviewing mostly as seen on TV items. I look at some consumer gadgets, other household items. Once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way, you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. One more thing, don't forget to check down the description for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, let's take a close look at this new and improved Ice Genie to see how it does. This is our new and improved Ice Genie. Let's just look at a few things this says on the box. 1, dishwasher safe top rack. 2, this is funny, space saving. So prior to having this, I had a lot more food and more ice cube trays. And after using this, well, I have less food and 1 ice cube tray. I think that's silly. I guess if you want to sit and chill, maybe you can keep a bottle of wine cool. And then I like the form-fitting lid. Now, it does say it can hold up to 72 ice cubes, but it does not make 72 ice cubes at once. All right, so here we go. Pretty simple. You know what, to be honest with you, it's actually a lot larger than I thought it was going to be. So that's pretty cool. So the box says that these ice cubes measure 1 inch tall. So that's pretty sweet. They are not full circles or half circles. And so what you end up doing is, well, first I'm going to wash this, but then I put this piece in. It fits into the seat. Fill it up with water, let it freeze, and then later take it apart, squeeze out my ice, and rock and roll. All right, so I'm going to actually go wash this up. We're going to see how much water it takes, and then freeze it. So I've completely washed these. I washed them by hand and then dried them. I do want to say that this is a thick silicone. It's a lot thicker than you think it would be. It seems like a tough material. The inner and cap are plastic. This is definitely a thicker plastic than the cap, but I just wanted you to know that. All right, so the directions tell me I'm going to push this all the way in, tight, and I'm going to end up pouring water down here so it goes down these little holes, and then it fills it up. Then I put my cap on and put it in the freezer. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 cups of water here. I just want to see how much water it actually takes. Oh, you know what? It's actually not that easy to pour the water in. This might not be the method you want to try, but let's just see. All right, it's filling it up. Boy, is that annoying. That was a lot more tedious than I thought, and if you include the water that I spilled right here on the table, I used about 1 cup of water to fill this up. Now, I have it so it's just below the little dot lines because I didn't want it necessarily on top of here just in case. So I'm going to put my cap on. All right, took a little bit of effort there. Not too bad. And now I'm going to go put it in my freezer. So don't make the mistake I did first. I, off camera, tried pushing this lid down further, and what it ended up doing is it took the middle part and pushed it up, and the water went underneath it, so then I had to dump it out and redo it. So I'm just really putting the lid on just to keep it clean. So it's just setting on there. Now I'm going to go put it in the freezer. I am excited to see if this works out. All right, so it tells me to take off my lid. I'm going to squeeze from all different directions. All right, so now I'm supposed to put this in the lid. And I guess I'm supposed to push down to try to release it, which makes sense. All right, now let's see if I can get this out. Oh, look, that came right out. Very cool. All right, so the next part's pretty easy. So I guess I'm supposed to just squeeze. And I made myself some ice cubes. So they are half circles. Pretty cool. I like that. All right, so now I'm going to try it again, but I am not. Oh, I got a couple that got stuck. I'm not going to put these in just yet, because when I did it last time, water got in here, and I don't want that water freezing to these. But I will fill this up, put these cubes back in, put the whole thing back in the freezer, and try it again. You know what? That first round was pretty impressive. I was surprised based on what I've heard about the original one, but I do think this upgraded design, having that solid cup in the middle, is really helpful. Plus how it goes below the last ice cube. Man, that is really smart. No wonder why it's a new and improved. So tell me, have you used either this one or the previous model? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Now, I'm going to try my second batch. Hopefully it goes as well as the first one. I wish I would have filmed my second pour. It went so much better. So I found that if I actually make contact with the jar here to the Ice Genie and pour it in, I can really control any splash or overfill that there might be. So that really is the key. I was going to try a funnel, but this works pretty good too. So now I'm filling those up. It used about the same, a little over a cup. I didn't spill any this time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these cubes back in here and then put the cap back on and go freeze it again. All right, ready to go back in the freezer. I am so excited. It's the second batch of ice. The first one I was so successful with. So let's do the same exact thing. All right, take the lid off. We're gonna crack it up a little bit. So maybe I put too much water in this time, because I do see it when it froze, it definitely pushed it up. You're supposed to only fill to like a line right in here, and that's what I thought I did, but it's okay. All right, so now I'm gonna put this inside my base. I'm gonna push, inside my lid. I'm gonna push down, take out my middle piece. Oh, working perfect. There's my ice in there from before. Let's just dump that out. Oh man. So it melted into, well, melted and then refroze. That stinks. That sort of like defeats the purpose of it. It makes sense though, because you take it out, it melts a little bit. I put it in the middle of a bucket with water around it, so it's definitely different temperatures, so it probably melted some. So my thought would be, this is not necessarily going to be a something you store a lot of ice in. Now, if you like making these cubes, it definitely works for that. All right, let's pour them in here. All right, so it makes ice, not something I would do to store the ice in it, but you know what? Not disappointed with that. All right, so let's talk about this right now. I have 2 batches of ice that were frozen and put in here, and the top layer is still loose. The bottom layer is a chunk of ice. I also have the 24 ice cubes on the outside. So if I have my all 3 sets, right? So the first set, there's 8 of these columns, there's 3 in each column, so it's 24 per set. I have 3 sets of 24. I have a total of 72 ice cubes in here. That is correct, albeit the first set of 24 ice cubes is really just one big giant ice cube. You probably could break them apart. So that claim they had was absolutely true. In this video, we were looking at the new and improved Ice Genie. All right, so to continue this conversation, let's look at the pros and cons. We'll start with some pros first. The first thing is very important. It's the materials that were chosen to make this. I really like the silicone and the heavy-duty plastic. To me, that's important, especially if you're going to be freezing and refreezing something over and over again. You want it to be made of some really good material. Secondly, it did what it's supposed to do. It took water, after being in the freezer, made ice. That's a win-win, right? Plus, I like the ice cubes that it made. I'm a fan of the sphere or half sphere ice cubes. That may not be for everyone, but for me, I really like that. All right, so let's look at the cons. One, 20 bucks. It's a lot of money for an ice cube tray. I didn't really like that when I stored my ice cubes on the inside, even just for a little bit, if some water got in there or if they started melting, waiting for the other water to freeze, they sort of became one big chunk. I guess you can dump it into an ice cube tray, but then that defeats the purpose of having something that stores your ice. Now, the advertiser said this is a space saver. In my opinion, it's a pretty big unit to be sitting in your freezer, and for me it took up a lot of space, so I did not see the whole space saving parts of that. Anyway, that was my review of the new and improved Ice Genie. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least try to put a bottle inside of it. The commercial shows us having a couple together. They're trying to keep their drink cooler longer. Yes, I do have ice in it. Yes, I think this will probably keep my drink cooler longer. Is it as ideal as a bucket with ice? No, and there's no way that I could fit any ice in there because every time I take the bottle in and out, it would absolutely spill. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the new and improved Ice Genie. You know what? Not that long ago, I actually reviewed another kitchen product, and it's called Unilid. What? Unilid? And it's by Copper Chef. What this is it's reusable silicone lids to replace your saran wrap, but you can cover things up in your fridge and such. Anyway, I'll let you see what it's about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link the review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And by the magic of the internet, when you click right here, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.